Good evening. Welcome to Ask the Lady Electrical Inspector podcast. I am your host, Tabatha L. Recently, while walking through a construction job site, I saw several electrical extension cords daisy chained, technical jargon for joined together. As the electrical inspector, safety is always a priority on any job site. I asked the electrician, why do you have two extension cords daisy chained together? His reply was, it's GFCI protected. Tonight, I would like to provide important information on why it is crucial to use electrical equipment and electrical products in accordance to manufacturer's instructions. Before you rip the packaging off your extension cord, read and follow all marked warnings and limitations associated with that extension cord. Look for warning tags affixed to the cord. It states, do not plug one extension cord into another extension cord. Tonight, I will provide you with general information on the usage of extension cords, the gauge size, and length. Also, I would like to give you some general information on service receptacles. This information should help you estimate the approximate length of extension cord you may need if you're ever called on a service call. If you have two or more extension cords connected in series, joined together, the resistance will increase, creating extensive heat, possibly damaging the outer installation jacket of the extension cord. The installation jacket on the extension cord offers protection for the conductors inside. If damaged, there is a potential to create electrical shock hazard, fire. Never run extension cords through walls, doorways, or ceilings. Article 400.12 covers general requirements and construction specifications for flexible cord and flexible cables. Extension cords are designed to carry a certain amount of current over a fixed distance, which is the length of the cord. Extension cords come in various sizes from 3 feet to 100 feet and so on, just depending on the amount of extension cord you need. Extension cords also come in different gauge sizes. 2. This gauge is suitable for light-duty use, primarily around your home or your house. It can handle up to 10 amps of current and is suitable for cords up to 50 feet in length. 14.2. 14.2 gauge is suitable for medium-duty use, such as power tools or small appliances. It can handle up to 15 amps of current and suitable for cords up to 100 feet in length. 12.2. 12.2, this gauge is suitable for heavy-duty use, such as power tools, large power tools, and appliances. It can also handle up to 20 amps in current and is suitable for cords up to 150 feet in length. 10.2. 10.2, this gauge is suitable for extra heavy-duty use, such as industrial equipment and heavy commercial equipment. It can handle up to 30 amps of current and is suitable for cords up to 250 feet. Here are a few locations where service receptacles are required to limit the use of extension cords. In the 2014 and 2020 code, Article 210.63, air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration equipment, you would need a service receptacle installed within 25 feet. So that's just a general rule that 25 feet of cord is required. So if as a service truck driver or electrician on the job, know that 25 feet is a minimum that's required for heating and cooling. NEC 2014, Article 210.64 states that if you need a service receptacle if you're going to install service equipment, with the exception of it being for homes, two-family dwellings. If you have an apartment complex that have more than 2 units, a service receptacle is required on both sides of the service equipment. The service equipment meaning the utility meter and the panel box inside. Also in the NEC 214, service receptacle would be 422.51 vending machines, 422.52 water fountains. If a problem that I've had on jobs when I've done inspections for water fountains, the water fountain cover has a cover on there that's not readily accessible. Water fountain or any GFCI receptacle, it has to be readily accessible. So if you need any type of special tool to remove the cover, that's not readily accessible. Another way that can be handled would be not to put the GFCI inside the water fountain, but to use a breaker so that the breaker is readily accessible to reset. NEC 2014 and 2020, garbage disposals, built-in dishwashers, trash compacts, the receptacle must be readily accessible. Same thing, but in this case, in homes, you just need to make sure that the actual garbage disposal isn't blocking the receptacle. You need to move it up towards the front of the cabinet so that you're not blocking it and that it's readily accessible. Article 224.22, heated floors. Heated floors also require receptacles, GFCI receptacles, and if you have a heated towel rack in your bathroom, that requires GFCI protection as well. Article 445.20, generators. Most generators, if they arrive on the job site, they will have a factory installed receptacle. Those are the new type of generators that are arriving on the job sites. But if you have a portable generator, and you would need to have a GFCI receptacle, and it needs to be readily accessible. Article 620.23C and 620.24C, elevators. At least one 20 amp, 15 or 20 amp duplex receptacle shall be provided in each machine room or control room and or machinery space control hoist pit. So you would need and that does need to be GFCI protected as well and readily accessible. I just want to give you that brief information on extension cords and its usage because that was really something that was a safety hazard, and I did speak with that electrician about that, so I just want to put that information out there. Now I'm going to answer a few questions that I received by email. The first question: I have an outlet in my bathroom that stopped working. What caused that to happen? There could be a number of reasons of why your receptacle isn't working. The very first thing you need to determine is if that circuit has power. You can go to your local hardware store and purchase a GFCI outlet tester. If your bathroom is too prone, maybe you would need an adapter to plug the GFCI tester in, but check to see if you have power. If you're not familiar with the tester, read the instructions. The instructions will tell you what to check for and what the possible situation could be, why the receptacle isn't working. It could possibly tell you that if you have power. Another reason could be if you have a GFCI in your bathroom, maybe it's tripped. You can try to reset it by pushing the test button. And if it doesn't reset, that's a possibility that the GFCI isn't working anymore and it needs to be replaced. Another possibility could be that if the GFCI receptacle in your bathroom tripped, it could have tripped the panel. So if you go to your panel and possibly it could be labeled, you can look, and if it's labeled and you see bathroom, if that breaker is sitting in the middle, if it's dead center in the middle, that means that the breaker is tripped. So what you would need to do, if you're not afraid of electricity, would be to put your hand on the breaker, turn your head, and reset the breaker. Another possibility is that the receptacle is just worn, that it served its purpose, and it may be just time to change the receptacle. So those are a few possibilities of why your receptacle is not working. Another question that I received: when buying a new light fixture, what do I need to look for? Okay. So if you're going to go to the store or the warehouse, the lighting warehouse, and buy a new light fixture, one of the things you need to look for is to look to make sure that the light fixture has a listing. The listing is just a simple, it's a symbol, and it just simply means that it was a safety test that was done on that light fixture and is certified to be used. If you don't know what you're looking for as far as the listings, you can Google www.osha.gov symbols, nationally recognized laboratory symbols, and it'll give you a list of symbols. And if you're still not sure, when you go to your local hardware store or wherever you buy your electrical supplies, normally they have someone there to help you, electrical helper or of some sort. Ask that person to point out to you whether or not it's listed or not. So they should be able to take that paper with you and ask. You can look on the box and see if you see a symbol. Turn the box upside down on the back side, see if you see a symbol. And if you don't, just ask for help. Second part of that question, is there a certain voltage type that you can buy for your home? Is there a certain voltage type that you can or cannot buy for your home? That's a really good question. Most homes are single phase, 240 at the most is what you can draw there, 120, 240. So your lighting in your home will be 120. There are some homes that are three-phase. That's a special permission is required from the utility company, but most likely your home is 120. So that would be the amount of voltage that you would need for any light that you have in your home. 277-volt lighting is for commercial use or for industrial use, or if you have a three-phase home. Something that I do a lot of inspections on is low voltage lighting for under cabinet lighting. That system requires that you have a complete assembly. So that would be a system that I would recommend you get an electrical contractor to do, because you have separate components and you need to make sure that they all work in conjunction with each other. So I would not undertake any low voltage lighting projects in my home if I'm not qualified to do so. So I recommend that you hire an electrical contractor if you ever consider doing any low voltage lighting for under cabinet or any low voltage lighting in your house. Another question I received: my microwave light is not working. Can I change this out myself, or do I need an electrician, or should I buy another microwave? You are allowed to change out your microwave light bulb. It's no different than you changing out your light bulb in your home. That's required. You can do that. Now, what we don't want any homeowner to do or any flipper to do would be to go throughout the home, change out every receptacle in your home, change out every light fixture in your home. A permit would be required to do that. But just simple maintenance of your home, you are allowed to do that. There's normally like maybe 2 screws that are in that cover that you can remove and take off the cover and replace the light bulb. Now, if you don't know exactly what size light bulb to get, you can remove that light bulb and take it to your local hardware store and show them that bulb, and they should be able to assist you and get you another bulb. And also, just tell them it's for the microwave, and they'll help you out. Here's another question that I received. The light bulb in my basement is broken off. I want to replace it with a new bulb, but I am unable to insert a bulb inside. Is there a safe way to remove the metal inside without spending money or calling an electrician? I am on a fixed income. I also heard that you can use a potato to remove a broken light bulb socket. I've also heard of that. That's an old wives' tale that's been around probably from generation to use a potato. I wouldn't personally recommend you use a potato if you're not familiar with electricity, because if you use a potato and you don't turn that circuit off, a potato it has moisture. So if that moisture is dripping down your hand, you forget to turn off the circuit or the light switch, it could potentially create a shock hazard. So that's something that I wouldn't recommend in this day and age. You know, this time of in our society, I just wouldn't recommend that. What I would recommend you do, I would recommend that you go to your local hardware store and you ask if there's a tool that's on the market, and it's called a broken bulb extractor. And you can probably buy it for under $10, and you can use that. That's a safer way to remove that bulb. As always, assume that the circuit is hot, turn off the switch or the main breaker. If you really want to be cautious, turn off the main breaker of the house. As a rule of thumb, when you're going to loosen something, the rule of thumb is left to loose. You're going to turn it left to loose, and to tight, you're going to turn it to the right. So we just have a slogan, left to loose, right to tight. And the fixed income part, there are some, you can check your local social services program to see if they can offer any home assistance for fixed income or low income families. There are programs that do help those type of families. But just remember that if you're looking into that, any social program should be free. If you contact a social service program and they ask you for money, that should be a red flag. You shouldn't give money that you already don't have, but just check with your local social services program and you may be able to get some assistance, further assistance, other home repairs if you're low income or have a fixed income. Thank you for tuning in tonight. If you have any questions or comments, please contact me on any of my social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, under the moniker Ask the Lady Electrical Inspector. If you would like to add anything to this discussion or provide feedback, you can email me at asktheladyelectricalinspector@gmail.com with any questions or concerns. Thank you and good night.